Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Fistful of Tangoes. This is the second match, the nightcap, if you will, of our doubleheader. The first match we had today was S4 versus Korok. If you missed that match, it went the distance. I won't spoil the result, but I highly recommend checking it out. Unfortunately, only one player can move forward. Spoiler alert. That being S4. So S4 moves forward. And now he's going to face the winner of Funn1k versus Funn1k, which will be the second and final match for today. After this match is complete, we're getting close to the end, and something I want to mention is we are looking to do all of the matches live and using the new 1v1 mode, at least for the last two matches, at least for the loser bracket finals and the grand finals, maybe for that second to last match in the losers bracket round 3, I think it is. Not 100% sure yet if it's going to be possible, but we're going to do our best to make it happen, guys, because I know it's more fun when it's live. It's more fun using the real mode, and yes, we have heard your request for 5v5 Pudge mid. May not happen this tournament, but something we will look to do in the future, because I'm a King Pudge, and I'd love to play against gods 1v1, and I'm sure Elgato will clown us both. So with all that being said, it's a Fistful of Tangos. Enough about that, just a general announcement. The rules for this tournament, it's a 1v1 tournament. Still the same rules in effect. No Battle Crow, Soul Ring, or neutral usage of any kind. That includes stacking, pulling, farming, neutrals. All are prohibited, as well as Helm of the Dominator taking them over. Extra 150 gold for the courier. You must spend that gold on the courier. As for hero selection, we give the players 3 predetermined possible matchups. Each player secretly vetoes one matchup, and then from there, we move on to the next step. And the next step is, if both players have vetoed the same matchup, there's only 2 matchups left, so then we flip a coin to see which one is used. If there are no matchups, if they veto separate matchups, then that leaves one, and then we just use that one matchup. So there's no picking. For game 1, we use coin flips to determine heroes and sides. The first to 2 kills or 2 towers wins that game number 1. But of course, this is a best out of 3. So after game 1, the players switch sides. If you played the Radiant Queen of Pain side of the matchup, then you play the Puck Dire side of the matchup, or whatever the 1v1 matchup happens to be. If a game 3 is required, we go to 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid, and no items and no runes are allowed. That still holds for today, because these matches were played before the latest patch. But in the future, we'll do it properly, guys. We're not going to have that 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid with no items or runes in the future. I must say, it is rather entertaining, though, with all that being said. The first kill or first tower wins. That's the rules for the game 3. So we come to the losers bracket round number 2, Funn1k versus Funn1k. Winner moves on to face S4, who just took down Team Liquid's Korok earlier today. S4, of course, of no Tidehunter. So this matchup between Empire Funn1k and Funn1k, who's been teamless for a while, but is in some ways a one-man army. He's provided us with some very entertaining games, also some very long games. Is Funn1k going to do it again? I have a feeling he might. As for the matchups, we gave the players 3 matchups. Shadow Fiend versus Pudge, which was very entertaining. We saw Funn1k on the Pudge side of this matchup. Had like 4 or 5 opportunities to win the game. Just came short a few times against Korok. If he gets that matchup again, I gotta say, I feel good about Funn1k's Pudge. I don't know about his Shadow Fiend, but his Pudge was pretty impressive, even though he lost that side. Of course, the other matchups, Leshrac versus Shadow Shaman, and then Queen of Pain versus Rubik. More pushing-oriented matchup for the middle one. And then, of course, Queen of Pain versus Rubik. Lots of burst damage, lots of killing potential. Not really the best pushers. If Rubik gets to 6, life generally gets tough for that Queen of Pain. As for the matchups, the vetoes did come out. Unfortunately, the matchup I was least excited to see, I really wanted that Shadow Fiend versus Pudge. For me, that would just be the ice on the cake, but it can't be Christmas 365 days a year. So we'll have to settle for Leshrac versus Shadow Shaman. Funn1k vetoing the first matchup, the Shadow Fiend versus Pudge, and then Funn1k vetoing the Queen of Pain versus Rubik. After the coin flips for game 1, it has been decided Funn1k is going to play the Shadow Shaman on the Radiant side first versus Funn1k's Leshrac. Then we'll flip sides, and if a game 3 is needed, we'll go to that 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid. Alright guys, enough of my yammered. It's time to get this rodeo on the road. Welcome back, everybody, to a Fistful of Tangos. This is game number 1 between Funn1k of Team Empire playing the Leshrac on the Dire side up against Funn1k on the Radiant playing the Shadow Shaman. For anyone who's new to Funn1k, or wow, he's got a nice sombrero. Gotta say, looking pretty swag there. All right, enough about that. He's kind of, man, he's really decked out. I mean, he's still Shadow Shaman. You still look like a runty little weasel man, but that's not Funn1k's fault. Of course, that's just the hero. The Voodoo Master himself. But yes, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. And Funn1k, Shadow Shaman is one of his signature heroes. When he first started playing, when mouse sports really broke into the scene, I should say, in competitive Dota 2, as I just realized I don't have volume. Let's fix that. When he first started breaking into the scene as a competitive player for mouse sports in Dota 2, Shadow Shaman was his go-to hero. He had some really impressive war traps. I think that was the one thing that separated him more than anyone else. And, well, with that being said, can he do it on his signature hero here today? We'll find out. Haven't seen him play this one as much as of late, but Shadow Shaman, generally in this matchup, I'd say Leshrac has the edge. In general, until Shadow Shaman hits 6, he's the more reliable spam. He's got multiple AoE nukes. You can go for Edict build, but usually it's going to be Split Earth Lightning build. Just outpush the Shadow Shaman because you have 2 nukes and he has 1. And you've also got higher base move speed, so you can rune control better. But when Shadow Shaman hits 6, all bets are out the window, because if he gets a good war trap and you don't have phase boots, or even if you have phase boots but you get netted inside of them before you can activate them and run out, you're probably dead. Leshrac is very squishy. So a matchup that Shadow Shaman most likely will need to rely more on killing. Of course, he can push the tower with wards, but getting into a push war is dangerous against Leshrac since he can just mow down your creeps and is generally going to out-rune control you. So it should be a pretty interesting matchup. Of course, Sing Sing, we're going to see what he can do. He's opted for Ether Shock at level 1. And the other thing worth noting is that Ether Shock really sucks at level 1. It only hits 1 target. The damage is good, but the fact that it only hits 1 target makes it really bad for farming, compared even to stuff like Split Earth, which has a small AoE or Lightning. So, not really a great level 1 spell, but except for Harassment. But it is going to be great when he levels it up. You see, he did scout with his courier. He played it really safe. He left it all the way over here, waited until after he saw Leshrac in lane, and then went for the Courier Scout. And there is an Invis top, which seems to have spotted. As for Funn1k, hasn't bothered with his Courier Scout. At least I don't think I saw him use it. So, different approach from Funn1k. He does have the better natural rune controlling here. As for item builds, what are we seeing? Sing Sing going for more consumables. Funn1k really rushing that bottle and constantly spamming that Ether Shock. Anytime you think you can get a last hit that you might otherwise miss, just throw it out there. Why the hell not? So, very early. This matchup, this is one that could, generally I think is going to go longer, because neither hero really has the best killing potential. I mentioned the war traps. Even if Leshrac does hit a Split Earth, the problem is he's going for the Lightning build, and the Lightning build isn't really a good killing build. It's much more of a lane control pushing build that controls the creep equilibrium that lets you get the runes easier. The Edict build is how you really kill a hero 101, but against Shadow Shaman, it's a dangerous one. You don't want to run next to him, get hexed or shackled under his tower, and then melt to that. So, because we're seeing that Lightning build come out, it's very likely this matchup could go longer. 2-minute rune's about to spawn. Funn1k is going to guess top, and he's going to get that Invis. He may even get a double spawn, and Sing Sing is going to take this opportunity to get a couple of creeps. Is Funn1k going to wait? He is. On the rune spawns bottom. Let's see if Sing Sing goes for it. As soon as he sees... Well, actually, he won't see what Funn1k has. He knows it's an Invis, but he doesn't know where Funn1k is. He can't tell if he got the double spawn, because the Invis has already been popped. Now the jig is up, and let's see if Sing Sing goes for it. The one issue with Shadow Shaman... Interesting that he's going there. Okay, yeah, I think he just realized that Funn1k picked it up, but... I mean, the thing is, it's hard for Shadow Shaman to rune control, because he's got 285 base move speed, Leshrac has 315. That's a 30 move speed difference, which is getting close to, like, a pair of boots difference territory. That is a big freaking difference in move speed, and on top of that, Leshrac's got a slightly better attack range and a strong animation, and it makes it hard to fight for those words. But Sing Sing, he did leave first. The one thing you need to know, whenever you're on the dire side, you have the rune control advantage for the bottom rune, because you actually have a shorter path to it. With the Radiant, it's a bit more of a longer road, like it brings you down and south, and then you have to go back up again. Whereas for dire, it's just a straight shot, just directly... well, that's not a very good straight line, but you get the idea. Just pretty much a straight shot, whereas for Radiant, it's like up and around, so it ends up being a longer... That's not the right route, but yeah, it ends up being a longer route, is my point. I think my MS Paint skills need some work, but... as far as CS goes, very even matchup so far. Bottle out on Sing, Leshrac, double damage bottle. Of course, Funn1k playing that. So Funn1k having a slight edge when it comes to rune control. At the same time, though, Sing's getting a lot of farm, which should be your goal as Shadow Shaman. You're not going to win that rune control war. You're not going to be able to outlast hit the Leshrac when he's in lane too easily, because he's just got the more spammable nukes, but you can spam Ether Shock to do it. Maybe we'll see Sing trying to contest that 4-minute rune. He doesn't have his boots yet. Leshrac up to 650 gold. The boots should be coming out right about now. Pops the double damage rune. Funn1k thinking about going in here. I don't think he can get this kill. Oh boy, Funn1k dancing with fire here. But you can see the advantage of that base move speed. Funn1k almost could have ran him down, but he's worried about getting fogged. He didn't want Sing Sing to duck into the fog and then tank an extra tower shot. Because one issue for Leshrac, he's very squishy. Even as frail as Shadow Shaman is, Leshrac is very similarly frail. Lower HP, he's got higher armor, but still, those tower shots are going to mow through you quickly. So Shadow Shaman rotating back towards the middle lane. Sing was thinking about that bottom rune, but looks like in the end, it's going to go back, pick up his boots, and then probably is going to have to go heal. No, he's Fairy to Salve. so he won't have to leave the lane yet, but every time he's buying a salve, that's money that Funn1k isn't spending, and now Funn1k's got something of his own coming, just the boots. So both players going for the safe standard build. We're not seeing any of Sing's weird shenanigans where he just skips an ability entirely, or sits on level 1 Blink and then wins the game anyway. So far, completely standard Shadow Shaman build. Getting that 1 point in Shackles in 1v1, you might think, is it really worth it? The answer is yes, because if you ever get Tower Dove, this is what's going to punish your opponent. And even just to get 1 point, it's a very nice disable. 2.5 seconds at level 1. Slight lag spike, but we should be unpausing here momentarily. It looks like we will be. Man, game 1. Funn1k versus Sing. Who's your money on, guys? I gotta say, I feel like Funn1k should have the slight edge. Just, I've seen more consistent play out of him, but Sing's got this way of just pulling out ridiculous shit out of his ass. So you never know. You never know with Sing. We'll see what he goes for. Also, Shadow Shaman is definitely one of his strongest heroes. It really comes down to the ward traps for both players. If one player's able to get the early ward traps on Shadow Shaman, the Shadow Shaman side of the matchup is a little bit harder to win. You can win it, you have a good killing power, but it's all about the ward traps. If you don't get those, you're never going to get a kill. And it's unlikely you can outpush Leshrac, even if you're just spamming wards at tower, because he can just spam the creep wave down constantly. So I really feel like that first ward trap attempt or two determines the way this matchup goes. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Haven't seen too many Shadow Shaman Leshrac 1v1s in the past. And neither player opting for wards yet. Neither player courier scouting like we saw Merlini doing. Just upgrading that to a flying courier and constantly using it to scout the runes. Just more focused on saving that gold to get a couple of additional items out. When it comes to last hits, dead even. Funn1k and Sing neck and neck. Oh, and we go. Leshrac doesn't have any points in Edict, doesn't have any points in Pulse Nova. He may drop to this. He needs one more nuke, and that's the problem with the base move speed of Shadow Shaman. Look at it. Even with the boots, it's 335. This slow, scrawny little man really needs those leg extension surgeries. I think it's actually it's actually a horrific surgery, but yeah, Shadow Shaman just couldn't get enraged there. And the problem is, you want to go for those ward trap kills, but when you blow your wards, that means you can't really... Sure, you drive Leshrac back to base, you get the rune, so it's not a horrible usage, but you really want to be using them to either get a kill or damage the tower, because otherwise, over time, Leshrac should be point ahead in farm. I'm a little surprised he's not doing a better job of lane control. He's got the better harassment, but Sing's just doing a nice job blasting under his tower. And this is the downside of that split earth lightning build, is you can't punish the Shadow Shaman for bad positioning the same way. All you can really do is outpush him, but you can't punish his bad positioning the same way you can with an Edict build, which does obviously have its downsides. If the creeps are there, which they usually will be, then it's not really doing that much damage, but it helps you contest the runes, so we'll see what Funn1k goes for, but so far, just maxing these two abilities. Net worth, a slight lead because there's something on the courier right now. What's it going to be? It's the phase boots. This is mandatory when you're 1v1 against Shadow Shaman. As mentioned, you really need to be able to phase out of the ward trap. Phase allows you to move through it. You can still be shackled inside of them, so it's not a guaranteed escape mechanism. Also, if you're turned into a chicken with Hex, then you can't activate your phase boots. So even getting these is not a guaranteed get out of jail free card, but it's just a mandatory thing to start with. And hopefully there's no technical issues. Okay, just checking Skype there, making sure I didn't forget to unmute my microphone or something. I may or may not have gotten really drunk last night and not known that this match was happening today. So, hopefully I'm not too incoherent, but what could I say, guys? It was a long 3.5 months. And here we go. Leshrac heading towards the bottom rune. 8-minute rune is going to spawn. Bottom. So Sing wasting a little bit of time, but he's going for that top rune, which you only missed maybe one creep. I think he missed there, and now I'll be able to use that Ether Shock to get the rest. May go back to base. No, he's got the phase boots. So going for his own phase boots. And actually, if you think about it, you know Leshrac's going to go for them because he needs them to get out of ward traps. And if you don't get phase boots of your own, it becomes really hard to contest for last hits without using your nukes. And when you can't bottle Crow, when you can't rune control, which generally that Shadow Shaman can't do, it's difficult to stay in lane otherwise. So, also, if you ever want to chase Leshrac down and he's got phase boots and you don't, there's no freaking way you're even staying close. So, it might seem a little odd for Shadow Shaman mid, especially considering you can't get the runes, but if you think about it, in some ways it's mandatory, because you know Leshrac is getting them. Invis rune picked up by Funn1k. This Invis rune could be devastating if he had some points in Edict, but going for the Lightning build, this thing can just walk back to his tower. And the thing is, Leshrac can't tower dive, I hear like Shadow Shaman, without a really early Edict levels, because he's just going to melt to the tower shots. He's a very naturally frail hero. When it comes to farm, though, Saint driven back a little bit, falling a bit behind. No kills just yet. Slowly but surely, Leshrac will outfarm you if it comes down to that. But Sing's doing an admirable job of keeping it quite close. He's only behind by 4 CS, which, to be totally honest, it's very impressive. Like, Leshrac should have better farm than that. And it's just a credit to how well Sing's playing the matchup. So 5. Another wave back and forth. This one, as mentioned, this is the pushing matchup. This is the much harder to find hero kills unless you get the War Trap matchup. So, we'll see. Maybe our game 2 will develop a lot differently. But generally speaking, this is what you expect with Shadow Shaman versus Leshrac. I kind of like it. It's a nice breather from just the constant aggression, tower diving, hero killing of Puck versus Queen of Pain. You know, the epic battles over runes. This is a nice kind of slower, relaxing pace. But at the same time, that one mistake can cost you the game. If you blow the wards and you don't catch him, and then he's able to get a nice rune or something, can turn the fight around, you really got to be careful if you're both players. And Invis rune pop by Funn1k, he's going to go bottom, and he's going to get a haste rune. I just realized I don't think we have fountains on the side lanes, as someone has mentioned to me in Skype. So we may have some towers dying. There should be 250 gold that they either remove from their inventories or just don't spend. Hopefully there weren't any issues with that. We'll see. I don't actually know how long this game goes on for, so we'll find out. If anything does go wrong, you can blame Gods, because it's God's fault, just in general. Everything is generally his fault. I'm not sure if people are trolling me. But yeah, CS still dead even. Magic Wand picked up on both players. Reina Basilius now picked up by Funn1k, who, this Reina Basilius really tells you that he feels he's going to win just in the spam wars, and, you know, sort of trying to just constantly push out the lane. He's not as focused on getting hero kills. Will he even go for points in Edict? I mean, you expect to see at least a few. He's going to pop a haste now. He's going to look to dive Sing. No, he won't. Something you can do, which I'm surprised we haven't seen more from Funn1k, is you can pump fake with Split Earth and try and bait your opponent's spells out, like bait that Hex, bait that Shackle, or just force him into a bad position, kind of play mind games with him. But Funn1k hasn't actually gone for any pump fakes. We'll see. It's something that you do see quite a few pros do.
Radiant's bottom tower is
but the thing is, even if you pump fake, it's not like a Pudge Hook where you can fake it and then just throw it out quickly. It does have this really annoyingly long cast animation. If it didn't, Leshrac would be totally broken, so it's something that needs to be in place for balance reasons. The tower is slowly being chipped away at. It seems like Funn1k is getting the edge here. Sing's got to make something happen soon. What will he go for? Will he go for that Blink Dagger just to set up a great War Trap? Will he just go for stats items to try and sustain in lane? You do have your options. I feel like, I mean, we could even see that Necro Book, perhaps, just to help you push. It's something that Merlini mentioned he wanted to go for as the Queen of Pain, and in retrospect thought he should have against Sing. He said it in the pregame chat for game number 2 in that series, but let's see what he goes for. And also, let's see what Funn1k goes for. Just the Bracer delivered. Nothing too exciting here. And Sing wasting a lot of time going for that bottom rune, and he's not going to find it. Tower's dropping low. Funn1k, you can tell Funn1k just wants these kills. Like, he could probably just be focusing on pushing the lane and the tower, but he's such an aggressive player. He's just constantly searching for the kills, sitting around in Invis when Sing's off the map, when you pretty much know Sing's going to check the rune. And now he's going to go in anyway. Sing does have the wards. Funn1k's got to be careful here. If you get hexed, you're not able to activate those phase boots. You can get picked off, even though you have the superior base move speed. But the tower drops low. The glyph was forced, and a big victory for Funn1k with that. Now the next time he goes in, he can chip away at that tower at will, and Sing's lurking. Sing's waiting. He will be spotted almost immediately by Funn1k. Where's that War Trap? Not going for it. Oh, Sing just playing games with Funn1k there. I didn't like the positioning quite enough. It is very hard to corner that Leshrac. He's a cagey one. The phase boots, as you can see, really help you last stand under tower. Without that, you have to get it just right. But with the phase boots, you can just kill the creep where normally it would take 2 auto attacks. So it gives you much more margin for error when it comes to last city. And Sing still dead even leading when it comes to CS. Gotta say, this is Shadow Shaman is one of his signature heroes, and we're seeing why. He's playing this matchup really well. And as for Funn1k, I feel like too focused on getting the kills, considering that he's going for the pushing build. You know, getting rid of Basilius, you're not getting anything that's going to help you kill a hero. You're not rushing something like a Hex, or... I mean, you probably wouldn't rush a Hex at 1v1, but even a Yule Scepter can set up your Split Earth. It's something that I thought maybe we'd see, but not seeing it just yet. The one thing is, if you go for something like that, it's got a really big build-up. Even a Necro 3, a Drums, could make a difference in this matchup, especially that Necro Book, because both heroes have a decent amount of just sort of AoE damage. Even the wards you can kind of count as AoE, just because they do so much, even though they're single target. And that 14-minute rune is going to spawn. Funn1k scouts top. You only have to walk about this far to see to that top rune. Then you can go bottom. So It's just something you want to keep an eye on. You'll see newer players, they walk all the way to the rune until like right on top of it. Part of that's just camera control, but part of it's also just not knowing vision ranges. At nighttime, you do have to walk a bit farther, but at the day, you can see it from quite far away. It's the little things that can make a difference in 1v1 mid. It's very interesting, because it really just magnifies those slight differences between players. You know, things like scouting with the courier. Oh, he's coming in. He's level 10. He's got 2 points in Edict. If he hits the splitter, Saint is dead, but he misses it. Now he'll Edict down the tower, so he's still going to get that tower kill. And Funn1k, despite focusing on the hero kills, now we see he's going back for the tried and true approach. Just muscle down the towers. At some point, Shadow Shaman has to stand and fight, and he's got a Staff of Wizardry. Could be a Yule Scepter. Could be that Necro 3. Well, that Necro 1 to start, obviously. It could even be something like a Force Staff, but I don't really think the Force Staff helps you in this matchup, because remember, it's not enough to stay alive. You have to get kills or knock down towers, and Force Staff just helps you live. It doesn't really help you do either of those things. So even though you often see it on these types of heroes, even things like the Blink Dagger, the Blink's only going to help you if you're able to secure kills with it, and clearly Sing just doesn't feel that confident in it. Wants to go for something that offers a little bit more versatility. He's down a tower, but he's not out of the fight by any means. When it comes to net worth, he's slightly ahead because something's on the courier. It's actually Funn1k leading by about 900 gold, but at this point in the game, 900 gold isn't really a deal breaker, because, I mean, what does it really translate into? It's basically the Bracer upgraded into drums, which helps your team a lot. The active is nice for chasing. It could be a way for Funn1k to run Sing down, but as an item itself, it just gives you a slight additional push in the lane, that slight attack speed for the creeps. The move speed doesn't really help the lane to push, just means the creeps run into the tower sooner. And you can just see 2 nukes and the wave's dead. It's the advantage Leshrac has in the matchup. The advantage Sing has, the Shadow Shaman has, is the ability to get the ward trap. But if you're not getting it, and you're not using wards on the tower, then you're going to lose. Slowly, yes, but surely you will. At some point, Sing's got to contest, he's got to fight, he's facing down bottom. There is no way you're getting that bottom rune. I'm not even sure why he's chasing for this. Maybe Sing just being a little impatient here. Does Ether Shock down the creeps. Don't farm the neutral, Sing. I don't want to have a regame. Oh boy. So CS still dead even. Still about a 700, 800 gold lead. Looks like 800 or 900 actually for Funn1k. Picks up the Void Stone. Let's see what he goes for. Will it be... interesting. You know, it could be the Yule Scepter. I feel like that's one of the best items to get, because it just means a guaranteed split earth. And you can see it's actually very hard to land. Well, that's another way to find a split earth. But unfortunately, Funn1k... I mean, if he had max Edict and Pulse Nova, he probably just mans up on Sing there and tries to kill him. Even with the wards, you'll be tanky enough. You have more burst as Leshrac than those wards can do. Sure, you might trade a kill, but I think it'd still be worth it for that first blood, for the additional gold. But let's see. Funn1k was playing it safe, playing it slow. Playing it stable, basically. I hope you guys brought some coffee, because we're in this one for the long haul. Even though one tower's fallen, this tier 2, it's very hard to bring down. And also it's Sing's tier 2. And if you didn't watch the match between him and Merlini, where Merlini was the co-op and Sing was the puck on the Radiant, you really owe it to yourself to go check it out. It was clowny, it was silly, but it just shows you how difficult it actually is to push down that tier 2 mid in most matchups. And especially for a hero like Leshrac. You don't want to run next to the tower, because then you're getting hexed, you're getting shackled, you're getting ward trapped, and if you're not able to phase out of that, you're just dead. So it's actually, the tier 2 is much more difficult. The tier 1, you could kind of just spam the creeps down and slowly but surely get the advantage. Is Sing really going all the way around to check the rune? Or is he going to the secret shop here? Or is he just going... I guess he just wants the high ground advantage. He wants to sneak up on Funn1k here. But Funn1k is going to know something's up, because as soon as you see these creeps in lane wailing on the tower and there's not a hero there to defend it, it's pretty damn obvious what's happening. Sing's waiting. He expected Funn1k to go for that top rune. Now he hacks, checks, and shackles him. There you go. Just in range, but not all of the wards hit him, or are they? Oh, they are all just barely. Needs one more auto attack. Needs one more Ether Shock. Can't find it. The frustration has to be there, and then the drum charge to get you to safety. Oh, yeah. Sing played that. That was the plan. I'm actually a little surprised Funn1k walked up this hill, because he should have known something was up when he saw the creeps hitting the tower and there was no hero to defend it. But Sing gambled a little bit, thought maybe Funn1k's going to get impatient or greedy. And Funn1k, I mean, let's be honest, he almost fell for that one. Sing could have easily had the kill there. Just shackled him a tiny bit late, I feel. He got too far away from the ward, so he got one less volley than he could have. But it was close, and you could see those little extra items like the Facilities for the armor, from the auto attacks, as well as the Drum of Endurance, helping him to run away there. This is a very powerful item on Leshrac. When you activate your drums in your phase, I think you're running at like 470 move speed on Leshrac. It's really good. I mean, it's just... We used to see it be really popular when Leshrac was being played a lot as a farmer, before the nerfs happened to Edict. In the European scene, a lot of players would go for the early phase drums just because you can chase everyone down with Edict. Now, nowadays we don't really see the Edict build unless it's just a hard support Leshrac in a pushing tri-lane against, say, an off-lane solo. Just because Edict isn't that good for actually zoning heroes out of the lane the way it used to be. But, I mean, you see this build, one of the big benefits is Leshrac already has high base move speed, so the phase drums, which are percentage-based increases, really add up, especially when you activate that drum. When it comes to gold, Sing, down by about 1,000. And slowly but surely, that tower's being chipped away upon. Sing's got to find his way back into this game. It will be the Necro 3. It looks like he's already picked up the Belt of Giant Strength. He really wants to contest these runes. Or, I guess, just waiting for Funn1k. Waiting for Funn1k to maybe come from that top rune. But if Funn1k has an invis or something, you could just get caught out and die. So, I think a little bit risky. And what is Funn1k going for? It looks like not the Eul Scepter, Perseverance. So really favoring just any item that will help him stay in lane. He feels he can win this via spam war. It makes the most sense. If you look at all his items, the drums, even the early Ring of Basilius, they're all spam-based items. Speaking of that Ring of Basilius, I guess he sold it. To be honest, the plus armor isn't really that big of a deal. I mean, it helps a little bit. Because the thing is, Shadow Shaman doesn't have enough nukes to instantly bring down a wave. But even so, I mean, you see you nuke the wave once, the creeps aren't actually hitting on the tower. They do like 2 extra auto attacks to your heroes, even if the Ring of Basilius is there. It's not going to make a big difference. And now the waiting game. A wild Leshrac stalking the lonely Shadow Shaman. What is all these scrolls attached to us? Like, can he actually read these? It just seems very impractical. Why does he wear a dress anyway? Sing says he's gonna contest this top rune. There's your Hex to start. Needs that perfect Lord Trap. Then the Necro dropped as well. This should be our first blood. I don't think Funn1k can get out of here. He won't be able to. Sing does it. The patient Predator strikes first. Sing with the first blood, but he is down 1 tower. But with that kill, you can see really turns this game around. And the thing is, with the wards and the Necro 3, if Leshrac ever gets caught, he's just flat out dead. I mean, you see it there. It's such a long disable, and very wisely, I feel, Sing is maxing his disables. He's not going for plus stats, because it's all about that one ward trap. It's not about spamming your nukes. It's not about just being a tanky support. It's 1v1. There's nothing to cancel your stuns either, so why not max the shackles? It just makes your wards, it gives them extra time to do bonus damage. And Funn1k, down 1 kill, could easily see Sing taking this next one. Has Funn1k overstayed his welcome? Has he just been too slow, not aggressive enough? Going for the spam-oriented build. Perseverance doesn't help you tank through a ward trap. It's just for being able to stay in lane a bit better. Maybe he should have gone for the point booster first. Maybe he should have rushed to BKB. I mean, there's a lot, even that Eul Scepter to set up Split Earth, go for some kills of his own, but the build he's gone for, we are seeing the big downsides now. He's still very squishy if he ever gets caught, only sitting on 1,000 HP. Sing is going to have to wait for that Mass Serpent Ward to cool down, but the next cooldown could be the end for Funn1k. Funn1k's really going to have to mind his position. The good news for him is he still has rune control. That makes it very hard for Sing to just surprise him. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He's not getting haste runes. But even so, we've seen Funn1k just get caught out of position a few times. Something he'll have to avoid if he wants to take this match. And now the point booster comes out. Funn1k going back, going towards that Bloodstone. I'm honestly very surprised that he's going for Bloodstone. I thought maybe Link gets here as well. Or you could just get the casual point booster, so we'll see what he goes for. But the problem with Bloodstone, if he's going for that, is it doesn't offer you anything in 1v1 when it comes to charges. Because if you get 2 kills, the game's already over. So it doesn't matter that you have 6 charges. You're not really going to benefit from that aspect of it. You also don't benefit from the ability to heal your allies when you die, which is a huge benefit to Bloodstone. We'll see if he goes for it. I'm talking a lot about it, but it's really not the best 1v1 item. The only thing it's good for is spam, but you need more than spam. You need to be able to muscle next to the tower, just stand next to it with Edict going, and force out glyphs, and then eventually bring the tower down. Otherwise, Sing could just spam down your wave, you spam down his. Sure, he's only got 1 nuke, but it's enough, and now Sing is just waiting for that 1 extra trap. I would also like to see wards from Funn1k, something we haven't seen either, because you just don't want to get jumped by the Shadow Shaman. Sure, he could be smoked up, but even so, you know, the chances of Sing using a smoke and sitting inside it, you'll still have a moment or two to react if you have proper wards and if you're positioning solid. In most cases. That 24-minute rune's gonna spawn soon. Sing did just show himself mid, I believe. Just in range of those creeps. Now the rune spawns. What will it be? It's bottom. Sing could get this, but he doesn't know. Oh, he's gonna head towards bottom. He's suspicious. He assumes Funn1k's gone top. Funn1k has been predictable in that sense. And hey, who wouldn't go top? It's the quicker trip. Oh, this Illusioner. This could be the end for Funn1k if he runs into Sing. So he's going to try to bait this one out. Is Funn1k going to contest it? He is. He contests it. Now he gets shackled up. He's not able to get away. I think this is the end for Funn1k. He could be going down here any moment. The Ether Shock is there. Funn1k will fall. Sing loses the tower and then gets 2 quick kills. Oh boy. What you doing, Funn1k? That's what Sing is saying to himself right now. But Sing will happily take that game number 1. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best out of 3. So we go into game 2 with Sing having a 1-0 advantage. Now the players flip sides. We'll see Funn1k on the Shadow Shaman on the Radiant, and we'll see Sing on the Leshrac on the Dire. If a game 3 is required, we go to the good old-fashioned 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid. And for all those who are undoubtedly asking, no, we're not using the new patch because these games were already played before the new patch was implemented, unfortunately. Just scheduling issues. It's been hard enough to get the games played at all, so when we can get them played, if we have to do it via replays, we do it, just to make sure you guys can watch the game. So it will, if it's 1v1 Shadow Fiend mid, then it will come down to, unfortunately, no items, no heroes. Or no items, no items, no heroes. No items, no runes. But we'll see if it comes to that. Game 2 is next. Currently, Sing leading the series 1-0. Nice comeback from him. Stay tuned for more action here on Beyond the Summit.